This is what I do to get out of my body. I get up early. I now sit on my recliner. I cover up because I get cold. I start to breathe deliberately. I feel as the air enters my nostrils and I direct it to my belly, following it. As I exhale, I feel it exiting my nose. I do this about 6 or 7 times. I feel my feet. I tighten my feet when I inhale, and I loosen them up when I exhale. I do it again without tensing them this time. I just inhale and feel they're melting as I exhale. I tighten my legs, and I do the same thing. I tighten, and then I release. And then the second time, I only relax and try to let them feel as they melt. I go to my torso, inhale, tense, exhale, and then my arms. I inhale, tense, exhales. I always melt on the exhale. Then I go to my face. I do not tense anything. I simply imagine that the expression on my face is melting little by little. I do this as many times as I need to do it until I feel completely relaxed. Now I go to what I call color breathing. I've heard it called other things, but I call it color breathing. I start imagining that the air that I'm gonna breathe is different colors. I usually start with the color red because it's the hardest to visualize for me. I imagine that I'm breathing in and the red air goes through my body, and then as I exhale, it comes out. I basically do the same thing I did before, only with colored air. I inhale, and then on the exhale, I relax. I go through all the colors, starting with red, then going to yellow, then going to green, then going to blue, and at the end, I like to try to imagine violet. Always relaxing as I go. If I'm angry, I will imagine that I'm breathing in white air and I'm breathing out black air. But I don't do this all the time. I only do that if I'm angry or very tense. That is very relaxing when I do that too. Now I go to visualization. I visualize that I'm in a green area, a meadow. It can be the woods, any natural setting that is peaceful and relaxing and beautiful. As you can see, I have the pond there. It's one of my favorite places, so I imagine that I'm walking by it. In this visualization, you are just going to walk along your area and see what you see. It might be a tree, it might be a bush, it might be a plant, it might be some birds, anything that you really, really like. After that, I then start staring at the dark color in front of my eyelids. This is to relax and also to get into an expectation, a state of expectation. I will look at my eyelids and then listen to my ear hiss. If I do this long enough, I can start seeing things. I can start seeing through my eyelids, seeing scenery, any visual that I can have, I can just observe. And as I observe whatever is in front of my eyelids, I listen to hear the sound of my ears. And when I'm listening, I might start distinguishing tones that are in the ear hiss, and I start focusing on the tones. And as I do that, they start to become more defined, and then I can pick a tone. I usually go with the lowest tone because it's easier to find, and concentrate on that one tone. And as I do that, if I do that long enough, I start to distinguish sounds, and the tones turn into voices sometimes, usually. Once you start hearing voices, you know that you are much, much deeper in the trance. And then you might expect other symptoms. I listen when I hear the words. If I hear, I might hear sentences and conversations. I listen to them, but I don't pay that much attention to them because it's not important. What's important is the knowledge that I am tuning into this other realm, if you want to call it that. And I am just watching and listening. I might start seeing through my eyelids, or simple flashes of places, and I can just observe without trying to do anything, just observe. If I find myself having vibrations, that lets me know that I am now in the transitional phase, and I can start an exit technique. There's many exit techniques, like the rope and jumping on the trampoline, and other ones, but I might also find myself falling or being absorbed into the environment that I'm seeing. If this happens, if you feel like you're going into the environment, all you do is let yourself go, let yourself fall, just let yourself fall. If not, if you're not getting that, if what you have is vibrations, then you go to the active exit technique, such as pulling on a rope, letting a ski boat pull you, feeling being pulled by a ski boat, and there's other exit techniques like feeling movement, floating, swimming. There's so many exit techniques that you can use that I have other videos about the techniques, some of the techniques themselves. Here's jumping on the trampoline. Is one of my favorite exit techniques. These active work better when you have vibrations as exit symptoms or transitional symptoms, because they're transitional because you're transitioning from one environment, from the physical environment to the astral environment. And I like them very much to get out of my body. If not, I just let myself go. If I'm having a visual experience, then I just let myself be absorbed into the environment, maintaining my consciousness. I hope that you enjoyed this little rundown. This is basically the routine that I use when I want to get out of my body. And remember, remember, it takes about 45 minutes. Ciao.